Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode of Cut to Movies with Vivek and Viru. Just before we dive in, we'd like to give you a disclaimer that this episode is filled with spoilers. So please, do watch the film first. Unless, of course, you don't have an issue with spoilers, in which case.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cut 2 with Vivek and Viru. And today we have a cute little film from Saudi Arabia. Vivek, tell us about it.
Yep, the film we discussed today is Wajda, released in 2012, directed by Haifa Al Mansour. The story revolves around a 10-year-old girl and her fascination with a cycle she set her eyes on. A rebel that enjoys almost all things that are considered a sin, going by her religion, that cycle becomes her one goal that she wants to attain at any cost, even if it means to participate in the religious group at school for a Quran recitation competition. Viru, what did you think?
Interesting premise. I actually read about it. मतलब I was trying to figure out movies to watch and इसमें मैंने वो interesting premise बहुत interesting लगा. The film was not as interesting as I had hoped it would be. Like ये बच्चों के साथ जो ये region से films बनाते हैं, those are very interesting in a way. But ये वाला, while the character was interesting, the girl was a little plucky little girl who goes against conventions.
Yeah.
वो वाला था. But then again, the story was not too nuanced. It was again very I don't know. It's not very interesting as well. मतलब those situations also that are built are not very interesting. So I felt कि वही it could have been a lot more interesting, the film, which it couldn't build on its premise of the girl trying to get that cycle. And it does it in a very serious and not very innovative or inventive way.
Yeah, I felt exactly the same. Like, it highlighted the Saudi culture, which isn't new, that how women are treated and the issues that they face, and how they are also fashionable, and they also have these dreams and of doing a lot of things, but they can't because of the culture that they are in, and it's a little trap that they are in. And here's a little girl who's almost like a dream that she wants to kind of attain and achieve, but yeah, and there are certain forces that are still pushing her down. And so the whole idea of putting a child in a backdrop like Saudi to kind of tell a story, and she wanting a little toy which is almost like an act of revolution against the culture. So all of that was nice, but you're absolutely right. Like, that symbolism and all of that did not come across in the, like, that cycle का जो meaning था वो तो
वो नहीं
पूरे picture में, हाँ, कुछ हुआ ही नहीं उसका. So yeah, I mean, I was also a bit
वो भी the
underwhelmed.
premise that she's like जबरदस्ती वो जो religious उसमें जाती है competition में मेरे को जीतना है.
हाँ.
That is also a very interesting way to like get to her goal.
Correct.
But वो भी इतना अच्छे से exploit नहीं किया. Like, she's supposed to be extremely intelligent और वो उसका होने वाला है goal वो complete. उसमें भी they could have made it much more interesting. The way she learns about all of that, and and that could have been much more interesting.
Interesting. Like, she listens to a lot of these English rock music. It could have been a great musical element within the Quran. Like, she's actually practicing Quran in that rock style or something like that. It would have given a different layer to the film only, I think. But that didn't come across. It was very flat.
It was flat. But the fact that, so I think the director also wanted to show how women are, like, हर बहुत सारे फिल्म में ऐसा था ना, men are the oppressors and all of that. But यहाँ पे she was like, men तो ठीक है, but women are not just the victims, they are also the gatekeepers. They are also the ones who keep telling you कि ऐसे नहीं करना है, ऐसे करना है. Why are you sitting in front of men? You should not be even seen by men. And बाल ऐसे होने चाहिए और साइकिल नहीं चला सकते और ये नहीं कर सकते और वो नहीं कर सकते. All reinforcing these values, और वो वाला women themselves do it to themselves, and that is how the society is. And that is what also she wanted to show. But again, I mean, we know about these things. We know about these problems, and such subjects have been talked about earlier. But
Yeah.
one interesting fact was this is like the first full-length feature film that was shot entirely in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that I was wondering, how would that be possible? A woman actually shooting a film?
Yes.
How was that possible?
And she couldn't even be seen outside. So what
Yeah.
the process of making it was also very tedious, because she had to be in the van, hidden,
Oh,
looking at monitors, and then giving out her suggestions, or her direction basically. So
that'd
it
be so
was a
amazing. Yeah.
tedious process. So again, all of this region में से जो making is a little more interesting than some of the films that come out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they are
100%.
going against a lot of things to actually get that film done and to make their dream alive or tell their stories or whatever. So sometimes I think that the process takes a lot more than the story film making itself, and
Yeah.
you lose sight of what you are making sometimes.
The point that you were making about how women are the gatekeepers, I remember how the entire film you're invested in Vajda, and how she's almost like revolting against the oppression, right? In her own little way, and she befriends that little boy, and how that boy kind of keeps supporting her through and through.
Right.
And I was so, that almost became like, oh, there is hope for this place where
Right.
now a man is also thinking differently. But then in the end, when he says that, I'm going to marry you when we grow up, right? And while that, it was a very odd moment, really, for me when I saw it, because then it just lodged that entire friendship, that innocent friendship that they had, and it became very. They both know at the end of the day, तू जितना भी cycle चला ले, तू मेरे साथ शादी करेगी when I'm going to grow up, and you're going to be my wife, and then maybe I'm going to marry someone else also, who knows.
I don't know. I felt it was just sweet for her. Like, just had probably a crush, and that's why she was like.
Yeah, but I found that damn weird. Like their equation was really good, and again, like the whole race sequence, I wanted that to be the end. Like really, where her abaya is torn, and it falls off, and it's just her t-shirt, and then almost no difference between the girl and the boy while they are.
Right.
I was really hoping for that dramatic finish for a film like this, because the entire film, it was like it starts off with that whole, okay, I'm going to beat you once I get that cycle.
Right.
So it was all about that. I don't know why they leave me underwhelmed.
They could have done a few shots and made it a little more interesting if they had gone outside the country, maybe for something. They should have done, but I think she just wanted to be true to that place and then lived with whatever restrictions they were with. But I think this was an easy fix, like you were saying, कि ये तो कर सकते थे. They had this big stretch of road which they anyway show, जिस पे वो लोग ने शूट किया था. They could have easily shot something which was far more interesting. One interesting, वो वाला मुझे अच्छा लगा. Her mother का जो, when they are like on the terrace and she and her mother and they're looking at the wedding reception, वो वाला venue of her father, and then she also reveals that she's bought the cycle. वो वाला मुझे scene अच्छा लगा. That was like a nice scene. And that also, like, ठीक है, उसकी mom बोलती है कि I have suffered enough and all of that, but I want to give you a little bit of happiness and make your dreams come true. वो थोड़ा सा अच्छा था. I mean, I liked that part of it.
Yeah, the we were talking about this director, how she's also kind of been through such a life. Apparently, like, I'm just reading, she was one of 12 children of her father. And her father used to encourage her whatever she wanted to do, and he also got her a bicycle. He got her a bicycle, which she used to ride in an indoor courtyard,
right,
at their house. So yeah, I mean, that's how I think she's also again, this is also almost like then semi-autobiographical account of her.
I mean, all of these films that we kind of have seen, even Baden that we saw,
yes,
it was a lot of autobiographical kind of take on the entire thing. So I mean, Yeah, a lot of these female directors also this happens when you're making like your first or second film. तो बहुत सारा चीज का inspiration comes from your own life and
Correct. Yeah.
story. And this was probably her first full-length feature,
Feature. Yeah.
right? Wajda, and I mean, she achieved something good because I think this was also Saudi Arabia's entry as for the best foreign language film in
Yeah.
the Academy Awards. So I mean, she achieved something. She shot
Definitely.
the first full-length feature there, and okay, I mean, it's like an okay feature. I didn't particularly like it, but I didn't also feel that it was a waste of time. I
Correct.
felt, ठीक है.
Correct. आई थिंक हमारे हजारों पिक्चरों से तो बहुत ही बेटर है एंड पीपल विल नॉट फील लाइक यू सेड दे वेस्टेड देयर टाइम it'll be a good insight into the life. I mean, you would know, but it's also a different thing to see, so
Right.
It'll be nice. And plus kids, यार मतलब any film that has kids that act well.
That girl is also very nice. I like
Yeah.
her performance. She was good. In fact, her friend is also good.
Yeah, that guy Abdullah, I think his name is. Yeah, he's also very good. And those sequences in the school and how the girls are taught,
Right.
and how the boys are, the men are. I mean, it's a nice it's a nice easy breezy kind of a film without any major conflict or say
हाँ.
कुछ depressive takes. नहीं.
I only feel that it has a very nice premise that could have been made the film
Yeah.
really good. So that's
That
why
I
it is disappointing. कि यार
That I
premise
agree.
अच्छा
Yeah.
था, सब कुछ अच्छा था, but you didn't like take advantage of it.
Correct. That I agree. Would you recommend this film for people to kind of watch it?
I think
100%.
people should watch it. Yes.
Yeah.
It is a fun watch, and like we said, it gives you a little bit of insight, a look into the life of women in Saudi Arabia, and it's a nice little tale.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
and you should give these directors also a chance and see watch their stories. So
Yeah, at least they're not these 3 hour long movies that really don't mean anything. At least these are these short ones, 1.5 hour, 2 hour films, but at least like it's a nice breezy film that people could watch and enjoy.
absolutely. So do watch it and do let us know how you felt about it. In fact, if you have ideas to make this more interesting, like we were saying, कि और क्या हो सकता था इसमें, and this could have been a really really amazing film.
Yeah.
तो अगर कुछ ऐसा concepts है तो please share करो and we might just make that film.
Make that film, or we'll try to get the director on the podcast and kind of discuss those ideas.
हाँ
with
कि
him.
यार ऐसे क्यों नहीं किया, ऐसे क्यों नहीं किया. Here are few suggestions for your next film.
Yeah.
पिट जाएंगे, but ठीक है. That's it. And yes, if you have any film suggestions, let us know, and we would love to invite you to the podcast and discuss it with you. Do share, and yeah, follow us, share our podcast, and at least follow on Spotify and other channels.
Spotify, Gaana, Savan, Castbox,
Because
बहुत सारे
Vivek,
Apple Music.
why should they do it? Because it is the
Because it is India's fastest growing movie podcast.
all right, guys. Chalo, bye.
Chalo, bye.